Okay, good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of October, 2019. And this is a really, really special call because last month, our wonderful guidance, great coach, just an absolute angel, Jerry, did an incentive for us all and said, those of you that are working the business, that are actually building the business with the account that you have, if you sponsor 2 business builders in September, so basically if you help 2 people in September, you win a special fireside chat with Jerry. Just let us know in the chat if you won that incentive, because we had it on Friday night and it was unbelievable. I was on the phone to Ria today, and Ria's been in the business for a little while now. We've had loads of conversations, and she said to me something that I already knew and she already knew, but she goes, do you know what, when Jerry said it, she was like, it was like I'd never heard it before. And it all of a sudden it hit her and it's completely changed her business. This is from Friday. So that call with Jerry, that fireside chat was remarkable. So if he sets another incentive, I urge you to go for it, because those private chats are amazing, because you get to ask him whatever your questions are and talk about whatever the obstacles are, and he answers. Is amazing. So Jerry's been really kind for us, and he's actually offered to do this call for us tonight morning for him, to focus on sponsoring. So for anybody that finds that sponsoring right now is not your strength, that's fine. We've all been there. This is what tonight's call is about. So make sure you've got your pen and paper, because we are going to be going on a journey where you're going to turn around at some point in the not so distant future and say, do you know what? Sponsoring is my strength. It is up there right at the top. So Jerry, I'm going to hand you over the reins, and I am so excited to hear what you've got to say tonight.
Well, Danny, thank you. I'm excited to hear what I have to say tonight, because I have no idea what I'm going to say tonight. So it'll be exciting for me as well. Anyway, it's great to be here with all of you. And I'm excited. I got a lot of good stuff to share with you. And I have 2 very special incentive announcements. One of which I will make now. The other I will make at the end of the call. Therefore, you got to hang on till the end of the call. Well, let me tell you the incentive that we're going to do now. So earlier this month, we did a fireside chat, as Danny was talking about. And I love to hear that just from one call, one idea changed someone's entire mentality and their business. It was so powerful that I was remiss that there weren't more people in this fireside chat. And so I wanted to give all of you a chance to redeem yourselves. And so here's the first incentive announcement. Anybody in Danny's Nation, Fiona's Nation, anybody that sponsors 2 consultants this month, in the month of October, will be able to get on a live, private, intimate fireside chat call with me next month. Okay? 2. Now you may say to yourself, well, Jerry, I'm at 0. Well, you've got 9 days to find 2. And if you do the things that I'm going to tell you on this call, you're going to get it done. So that's incentive numero uno, otherwise known as number 1 to all of us that don't speak Spanish. So 2 consultants in the month of October. I mean, not PCs, consultants, business builders. You're going to get on a fireside chat with me next month, where we're going to sit around, roast marshmallows, and we're going to ask and talk and grow and develop ourselves as leaders. So that's my first incentive. Oh, stop with the V's. What V did I say now, Rachel? Michelle, what did I say? Oh, good Lord. Stop it with the V's. What V? You have to tell me. I cannot train.
You did it with the V. You did it that way again and not that way.
This is
sorry.
P.
It's not P.
You know what? I'm just going to flip all of you off. How about that? What if I just flipped you off? Maybe everyone would be more excited. Well, I'm so glad you're telling me this now, because I did not know that was swearing in the UK. So I'd hate to come to an event and hold up my fingers and everyone's offended. So thank you for sharing with me. I'm so glad, Rochelle, you had such a laugh at my expense. Once again, I'm just going to sit on my hands. How does that sound? Then I won't worry about it. So anyway, So that's going to be the incentive. 2. Okay. 1, 2, 2. Okay. This month, fireside chat. Next month. All right. So there's incentive number 1. Incentive number 2, I'll tell you at the end. But let's talk about how we're going to do this. Let's talk about sponsoring. Okay. Sponsoring is always one of the largest challenges that people have. And sponsoring is not difficult. How you think about sponsoring is what makes it difficult. Okay? I want you to understand that. Sponsoring is not difficult. How you think about it is what makes it difficult. Because truly and honestly, if you really think about it, sponsoring is no different than selling products. It really isn't. Because if you understand the concept, what are you doing when you're selling products? You're talking about something you believe in, something that you're excited about. You're sharing your excitement with others, helping them see the value so that hopefully they will become a client and use the products. Well, it is no different with sponsoring. What are you doing? You are sharing with people excitement and passion about the chance that you've been given, and you're sharing it with them in hopes that maybe they may be excited as you and want to be part of your team. And if they decide they don't want to be part of your team, who cares? It doesn't matter. We get so caught up mentally with all the people that don't want to be part of it, when you have to understand in this business, you will always have more people that won't than you ever will that will. That's just the name of the game. That's the business. And the winners and the leaders, the ones who get to national vice president like Danny, they have to go through the same things all of you do. Danny is not more special than you. She's not more talented than you. Okay? Let me tell you what she's done. She's heard more no's than you. She's had more people quit than you. She's had more people earn promotions that did nothing than you. She's just done more of it than you. And there's no exception. Look at that. 1,000 people that Danny spoke to get to region, and 900 said no. And you're looking at that going, wow, that's only 10%. That's the numbers. But 10% of 1,000 is very different than 10% of 10. Because what's 10% of 10? 1. What's 10% of 1,000? 100. So the percentages never change. It's the numbers that change. I hope you're with me so far, because this is like building a house. I'm laying a foundation. Carol, I love you too, my friend. Remember, you are an ENVP. Don't forget that. Okay, Danny, could you mute everybody except me? I keep hearing background noise.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I can't find who it is that's not muted.
Jane Halliday needs to mute her line.
Okay, I'll do it.
That's the only one I see that's not muted. Sorry, Jane, didn't mean to call you out, but that's what you get. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm trying to lay a foundation here first to help you understand, because sponsoring is all about mindset. Okay, it's all about mindset. So first of all, here's the thing. Number one, change what you're saying and thinking about sponsoring. Change what you're saying and thinking about sponsoring. That's number one. If you're thinking to yourself, well, this is tough. I never have any luck. Everyone I talk to never returns my calls. I sponsor someone Monday. They're gone on Wednesday. I can't seem to duplicate. I can't lead anybody. If that's your dialogue, stop complaining about why you're not sponsoring people, because you can't sponsor people with that kind of dialogue. So you've got to first change the dialogue in your thinking and speaking. So when I was building my business, here's what I said. I am a sponsoring machine. That was my first affirmation. I'm a sponsoring machine. Second one, people are excited to hear from me. People are excited. People can't wait to hear from me. I don't care if they disconnected their phone. They still can't wait to hear from me because I'll find some way to connect with them. So I am a sponsoring machine. People can't wait to hear from me. People are excited to be part of my team. Okay? People are excited to be part of my team. I am building a district manager bonusing machine. District manager bonusing machine. Danny built that. 33 bonusing district managers going nation. So imagine how you feel if your dialogue starts to sound like that. I'm a sponsoring machine. People are excited to hear from me. People are excited to be part of my team. I am building a district manager bonusing machine. Boom, do it again. You do that 5 times and you're not a little excited, you may need to go to the doctor and get yourself a checkup. Because I don't know about you, but just saying that once gets me all fired up. So that's number 1. Change your thinking, change your speaking. Start to talk about what you want to create, not complain about what you're not. Come on, somebody. Talk about what you want to create. Don't complain about what you're not, because that serves no purpose. So that's number 1. Change your thinking, change your words. I'm a sponsoring machine. People are excited to talk with me, hear from me. People are excited to be part of my team. I am building a district manager bonusing machine. Boom, do it again. Fire yourself up. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is let go of the past. I don't care what you haven't done, what you haven't accomplished, how many people have quit, how many people have not done anything. I don't care. Do you know why I don't care? Because it doesn't matter anymore. That's in the past. That's over. It's done. It's finished. And so if your mind stays stuck in what hasn't worked, you will never be able to get your mind over here to what can work. So you need to let go of what hasn't happened so your mind is free to focus on what can happen. You got to get rid of that. Some of you were thinking, well, I've never sponsored 2 people in 10 days. Well, it's about time you did it. Doesn't matter what you haven't done. Doesn't matter if you've been stuck at the same level for too long. It doesn't matter, because nothing from yesterday back can ever be changed. So why are we worrying about it? So you need to change what you speak, change what you say. Okay. Number 2 is you need to let go of your past and stop worrying about all this stuff that doesn't matter and focus on moving forward. Okay. Look at that. Nikki Merchant has sponsored 14 people this month. 14. That's 1-4. We're talking about 2. 14. Roger Bannister, right there. The person who thinks it can't be done does it, and then everybody else goes, wow, they did 14. We're just talking about 2. Come on now. So number 1, change your words, change your thinking. Number 2, get rid of the past of what didn't work so you can focus on what can. Okay. Number 3, know the numbers. You need to understand the numbers of sponsoring. That's why people get frustrated. So here's the numbers. And Danny's numbers just solidify what I'm teaching people for 8 years. For every 10 people you share the business with, you'll probably sponsor 1, maybe 2. If you got a good batch of people, maybe you might do 3. But 1 out of every 10. Okay, 1 out of every 10. So now, once again, I can guarantee you, Nikki's talking to a whole lot of people. She didn't talk to 14 people and sponsor 14 people. Okay, it doesn't work that way. She's talked to way more than that to find the 14. So the question is, are you going to be the rabbit or are you going to be the snail? Are you going to do it quick or are you just going to take your time? Maybe this month I'll just talk to 5 people and kind of work my way into it. Are you kidding me? Right? You don't want to do that. You want to move. You want to get going. So know the numbers. For every 10, you'll get 1. So if you haven't talked, if you haven't spoke to 10 people, then stop complaining that you haven't found the one. Stop giving up before it's too late. So you got to know your numbers. And here's something my upline taught me. You can't beat the numbers, but the numbers cannot beat you. You can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. You know what you can do? Work the numbers. For every 10 I share about the business, I'll get 1. I have people call me, well, how many people did you talk about share the business with? 4. Okay, well, 4 is not 10. So go share with 6 more, and somewhere in that next 6, you'll find your 1. If you don't, that doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. That means you just had a bad batch of 10 people. There were times I would share the business with 10, I'd sponsor 1. There's time I'd share the business with 10, I'd sponsor 5. Now, I didn't do anything different with the group I sponsored 1 in from the group I sponsored 5. I did the same thing. So what was the difference? Just the people. It was just a different batch of people. So you've got to know the numbers, you've got to work the numbers, and you got to get it together. Okay, you got to get it together. That's number 3. Know the numbers, work the numbers. Number 4, stop worrying about all the things that don't matter. Okay, stop worrying about all the things that don't matter. You're like, well, what does that mean? Okay, well, let me tell you. Number 1, stop worrying about rejection. Nobody is rejecting you. Okay, they're not. They are just saying no to whatever it is that you're offering them. In this case, it's the business. And no doesn't mean forever. No, most of the time means not right now. Timing is wrong. I'm in a bad place in my life. I don't have enough information yet to decide what I want to do. At the end of the day, that's the bottom line. So you've got to understand that when you're out there. Rejection's never personal. Stop being afraid of hearing the word no. Listen, get used to the word no. In fact, I'm going to help you get used to it right now. Okay? Here we go. We're going to do an exercise. 1, 2, 3. No. Okay, hold on. We still have 69 people on the phone. Hang on a minute. Let me try this again. I said no. Wait. Still have 69 people. No one's hung up the phone yet. Let me try it one more time, Danny. No, no, no. Look at that, Danny. No one's left. You know what that tells me? You can handle the word no. So stop being wimpy, pull up your big girl panties, and go to work. Go get it done. Because you obviously aren't afraid of no, because I just told you no 5 times and you're still on the phone. Okay? So we got to stop with this crap we have in our head because we're creating our own problems. I used to love no. And see, my thought was, let me see how many no's I can get through quickly because that means I'm going to get to my yes much faster. That was the game I played. So when somebody says, oh, no, it's just not for me. Okay, next. And on I went to the next person. Ask the waitress how they feel when they come over to somebody and say, hey, would you like some dessert? Oh, no, I'm stuffed. What do you mean, no? Right? A waitress doesn't break down and cry. A waitress knows. It just means I don't want dessert. It's not personal. So you got to get over rejection. You got to get over this fear of what other people think of you. Listen, nobody's thinking about you. Don't give yourself that kind of credit. Nobody's thinking about you. Nobody cares. You got to stop worrying about people's opinions. It doesn't matter. In fact, let me tell you how much it doesn't matter. When you're done with this call, go online to your bank. Look at your bank statement. And I want you to tell me how many other people's opinions do you see deposited in your bank account? Because I know what the answer is going to be, none. And if there's nobody's opinions deposited in your bank account, do you know what they mean? Do you know what that means? People's opinions don't matter. Because here's the thing. Everyone has an opinion. How many of you figured that one out? And most of their opinions are negative. Oh, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Well, that's not what you do, and you don't know anything about this. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. You are entitled not to own it. Okay, let me say it again. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You are entitled not to own it. End of story. So you got to get over this rejection, fear of what other people think, fear of other people's opinions. You've got to get over this fear of, well, I don't really know. Well, what am I supposed to say? Well, how about if you practice? How about if you practice some things at home instead of watching TV or doing other things, and get yourself ready so when you're out there, you know what to do. You're already prepared to make it happen. So don't let that be an excuse either. And the last thing is that you have to believe in what you do and what you're offering. You have to believe it. When you believe what you do, it doesn't matter what people say. You believe it. I remember a story about this young actress who was trying out for a movie. And she went back in after she tried out for the role. And the director said to her, well, you didn't get the part. And she asked him, well, why not? And he said, you're just not pretty enough for the role. Now think about that. If you're a young actress and somebody says to you, you're not pretty enough. He actually said she was ugly. Imagine that in that moment she had a choice. Okay, well, am I going to believe their opinion? Because if I believe their opinion, what am I believing? I'm ugly. I don't think I'm ugly. So therefore, I'm not going to buy their opinion. And so what she did was she went back and she said, I'm really sorry, but there are way more fish in the sea. And I'm going to go find somebody who sees the beauty in me. And yes, Meryl Streep has went on to win 18 Academy Awards because somebody told her she was ugly. But you see, did that make it true? No. But we take what people say and we own it as the truth. When somebody says, well, those things don't work, are you going to buy that? Or are you not? Are you going to say to yourself, oh yeah, it doesn't work because it hasn't worked for me? Or are you going to say, no, that's not true? I said, I'm in the process of building my business. But let me talk to you about my national vice president, who it's really worked for, who I'm learning from. So are you going to buy their opinions? Or are you going to change their opinions? Because you have the total choice. Meryl Streep decided, I'm not buying that opinion. I'm going to go change it. And she did, 18 Academy Awards later. So we got to get our mind out of that. You have to believe in what you do. You have to love it. If people don't get it, fine. You need to be like Wonder Woman. Every bullet needs to just bounce right off of you, right? Every objection, everything that people say just needs to boom, bounce right off of you like it does on Wonder Woman's suit. Just let it bounce off you. Okay, fine, it's not for you. Next. Okay, fine. You think this is a pyramid. Great. Next. You know, whatever it is, you got to keep on moving. You got to get that stuff out of your head. You got to believe in what you do. You got to love what you do. Okay. Next one, number 5. You got to know how to work your numbers monthly. And this is probably one of the most powerful things that I teach people is how to break their goals down weekly. Okay, how to break it down weekly. As an example, let's say your goal is you want to go in an area qual of 10,000. So your weekly goal you need to focus on is 2,500 a week. Let's say your goal is to go region at 40,000. Your goal is 10,000 a week. So the first thing you do in any month is you find out what's your goal, and then you break it down to a weekly goal. Okay, so let's just do this for math. Okay, one of my very good friends, Executive National Vice President Shay Hershag out here in California. I've been working with Shay for 6 years, and when Shay came to started coaching with me in 2013, she was a struggling area manager. And she since has become a VP, NVP, ENVP, and all that stuff. But when she was going region, she was stuck. And she was stuck for about 8 months, between $18,000 to $21,000. Okay, $18,000 to $21,000. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, I want to be stuck there. Well, yeah, maybe. But at the end of the day, when you want to grow, it's tough to be stuck. So she came to me, and I understood what her problem was within 10 minutes of talking to her. It wasn't her skill set, because her skill set was up here. She knew how to sell. She knew how to sponsor. She knew how to promote. She knew how to duplicate. Okay, I saw it across the organization. So I knew early on what her problem was stuck in between her ears. That was it. So I said to Shay, I said, I have good news and I have bad news. I said, the good news is I can help you. She says, what's the bad news? I said, you're going to have to trust me, because what I'm going to tell you is going to be a little unconventional. So it's totally up to you. She says, well, listen, I'm stuck. You know, I need some help. I said, okay, great. So step 1, I want you to focus on 30,000, not 40. Well, wait a minute. I'm trying to get to region qual. Yeah, and how's that been working for you the last 8 months? Huh? Been doing well? And she started laughing. She says, well, no. I said, let me ask you a question. Have you ever hit 30? She says, no. I said, do you need to pass 30 on the way to 40? She said, yes. I said, therefore, you will focus on 30, because your problem is you no longer believe it's possible to hit 40. Your mind has locked you out of belief. You're now full of doubt that you can ever do that. So what I need to do is build your belief so that you can hit the numbers. I said, are you with me? She said, yes. I said, okay, so what's your new goal? 30,000. Great. Now, slice it in 4. What does that come out to weekly? 7,500. Exactly. That's what you focus on 1 week at a time. You know your big goal. Now, all I want you to focus on is 7,500 this week. That's it. Now, whatever level you're at, the principle's the same. The math is the only thing that changes. Okay? So the idea is the same. The math changes. So you just do the math and just do it that way. Okay? So I said, okay, $7,500 a week. Great. She says, I have a question. Okay? What if I don't hit 75 my first week? I said, okay, let's do it this way. You do 6,000 your first week. Your goal is 75. How much did you fall short? 1,500. Exactly. Now, what do you think you're going to do with the 1,500? She said, I'm going to add it to the next week. And I said, wrong answer. She said, what? I said, wrong answer. She says, what do you mean? I said, listen, your goal was 75. You did 6. So your mind's looking at the fact that you fell short. Now you're telling your mind, okay, but next week I'm going to do 9,000. 75 plus the 15. I said, so what do you think's going to happen when I say that to you, Shay? Hey, your goal was 75, you did 6, but you better do 9 next week. What's going on in your head? She says, I'm feeling like doubtful. I said, exactly. So that's not what you do. I said, how many more weeks are there left in the month? 3. So here's what you do. Whatever you fall short in the first week, you chop it up into 3 and you add 1/3 to each of the next 3 weeks. So what's 1/3 of 1,500, Shay? 500, right. So now you add 500. So your goal, 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. I said, are you following me, Shay? She said, yes. I said, great. Now, if you fall short the second week, what do you do with the shortage? She said, I divide it in half. Exactly. And you take half, add it to the 3rd week, half to the 4th week. And you just keep going. I said, does that make sense? She said, yes. I said, are you going to trust me? She said, yes. I said, will you do this? She said, yes. I said, do it and watch what happens. So, November of 2013, first month, 18 to 21,000 struggling for 8 months. First month, $28,000. Now, 28 in relation to 40, can you see that? Still a gap. And guess what your mind can say? Oh yeah, hey Shay, you did better, but oh, you're 12,000, you're still too far away. You're never going to make this. But mentally, 28 in relation to 30, your mind goes, whoa, we almost, look at that. We're $2,000 short of our goal. What happens here? Belief. What happens here? Doubt. My friends, if you get this right now, your life will change forever. So next month in December, she does it again. What does she do next month? 29 and some change. About 1,500 more than the month before. Now, once again, 29 to 40, 29 to 30. Oh, look at that. Now her mind is like, holy mackerel, we're almost there. So she's had 2 months of the secret to momentum. Consistency. For 2 months, she was consistent in what she did. Keep in mind, the first 2 months, she did not hit her goal. She came close, but she didn't hit it, but she kept going. And consistency will create momentum. So what happened in January of 2014? $48,000 in volume. What happened in February? $57,000 in volume. And by March, 4 months after we started to work together, 8 months after she was struggling, what happened to Shay? She became a regional vice president. Why? Simply because I got her mind to connect with her activity. And when your mind connects to your activity, explosive things happen. Today, she's an ENVP. Shay and I still do 3 coaching calls every month. 1 with her VPs, 1 with her team, 1 with her and I. 6 years later, still growing, still learning. She's incredible, just like Danny. 2 of my absolute top stars that I work with. But what it was getting her mindset focused on smaller goals per week. You do all of these little things that I'm telling you right now, sponsoring will no longer become a challenge. Here's another affirmation. Sponsoring is fun. Oh, Jerry, that's not true. Yes, it is. I don't care whether you believe it or not. You say it. Sponsoring, you may say it through clenched teeth. Sponsoring is fun, but the more you say it, the more your mind hears it, the more you will believe it. Sponsoring is fun. Sponsoring is exciting. Do you know why? Because every time you talk to someone about the business, you are giving them hope in their life again. And whether they want to take it or not, you have no control over. All you have control over, how many people am I going to share this story with? And if you take what I'm talking about on this call in the next 9 days that are left in this month, 2 consultants will not be a problem. Some of you may have already sponsored 1. Guess what? Congratulations. You got 1 more to do. It's not that difficult. Not that difficult. Oops, somebody's doing their dishes. Can you mute the phone, please? So that is the mindset of sponsoring. Now notice, you're like, where's the scripts? I don't need to give you scripts. You've got one of the top NVPs and ENVPs in the company. You can get all your scripts and verbiage from them. I don't need to teach you what to say, because here's the thing. If you know what to say with a jacked up mindset, you're going nowhere anyway. Truth is the truth. But when you know what to say and you have the right mindset attached to that, magical things happen. So that's why I'm not talking about scripts. And see, here's Danny again. 6 personally this month. See, what I love is this. A great leader shows the way. Doesn't just talk about the way, they show the way. So Danny has already personally sponsored 3 times more people than what you need to sponsor to qualify for a fireside chat next month. So what this has to do is get your mind to think, I can do this. If Danny can do it, if Nikki can do it, so can I. But you got to get your mind in the right place in order to make that happen. Okay? So we're going to open up for questions in a minute. I hope that inspired somebody, because there's 70 people. I said no to 69, and somebody called someone and said, Jerry's telling us no, get on the phone. 1 other person joined in so that they can hear me tell them no. This is very exciting, okay? Look at Kelly, I've sponsored 7. 7. Now remember, okay? I want you to understand that when we're talking, you and I, when we're talking sponsoring, I'm not talking preferred clients. Do you need preferred clients? Absolutely. But I'm talking about helping you build your consultants, because let me explain this to you. Preferred clients will build your volume, which you need, but consultants grow your business. So when we're talking sponsoring, okay, I'm just strictly talking about business builders. I'm not saying PCs aren't important, because you need them, but we're talking about how do I build. You build with independent consultants, okay? So I just want to make sure you're aware of that. So a lot of stuff, 5 different mindset things that you can start applying right now, tangible, to make it happen. And before we wrap this up and I throw it over to Danny and open it up to questions, I'm going to give you my final incentive. This is so good, I'm going to take a drink. As all of you know, or maybe will know now, Yelling with Love is finally coming to the UK on Saturday, May 2nd. I am bringing my Champion Summit that I have done literally all over the world to the UK in your backyard on Saturday, May 2nd. Now, I'm going to have leadership talk with all of you. Is that okay, Danny? We can have leadership talk here? Okay. I told Danny, in order for me to come across the world, give up, probably about a week and a half of coaching, and do all this stuff, we need to have 300 people minimum at this event. Which, as big as you are, to me, that's nothing. So we did a pre-registration asking people that were interested, that want to be part, to pre-register in advance. Well, how many people pre-registered? 301. But now the actual registration has started and we only have 58 people. So I need to make this clear. Now I know we have a whole lot of time. I get that. I'm not in any concern, but I'm letting you know so you can help me. We got to have 300 people for me to make this trip happen. So I'm counting on you to help, but I am also going to help you with something I've never even done in the States. In fact, I had to ask my wife about this before I decided to offer this to all of you. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm trying to do this right now, Danny, but I can't find how to do this. Oh, here we go. Let me see if this works. I just posted the link for everybody to register. Now, before I tell you what the incentive is, listen to this carefully. I have had Danny and several leaders talk to me about the fact that they would invest 400 to 500 pounds to spend a day with me training them live. Danny, you said that, remember? It's 400 to 500 pounds. And now I could have said, well, that's what I'll charge then. I mean, if Danny's willing to pay 400 pounds, I'll just charge 400 pounds. But I'm a nice guy. And so right now, the ticket to my all-day leadership summit in your backyard is 67 pounds. Not 467 pounds. Ridiculous. It's like I'm giving it away. But you know why it's so low? Not because it's not valuable, because my goal is to impact people's lives. I want that room filled and overflowed. I want to be able to come out and have a room of 500 people whose lives will be changed. And guess who the benefactors of that are going to be? All of you and your teams. Because let me tell you something. I have had VPs that have come to me in the States that have said to me, and I can send you the quotes. This is the best leadership training I have ever attended. VPs are telling me that at my events. So why would you miss this? Why would you wait? Why would you procrastinate? So what is Arbonne known for? Incentives. So for the first time ever, I'm giving you one. So listen carefully. If you register for this event between now and the end of this month, 9 days, you actually get yourself registered between now and the end of the month. I recorded years ago, Danny talks about this, I recorded a CD series called Mastering the Mindset for Success. Okay, 3 CDs, now they're downloadable, but it talks about the mindset, the gold card, our winning image story, and all these other things about how to create the mindset to build a business for success. I've sold them all over the country. That CD by itself, individually, sold for $89 US. So here we go. Anyone that registers between today and the end of the month, I am going to gift you my Mastering the Mindset for Success downloadable CDs for free. For free. Free means you don't have to pay. Okay? You don't have to pay. So everybody that registers next month is going to get an email with the link to download my entire Mastering the Mindset for Success CD system that I've sold for $89 US. You're going to get it for free. Why? Because I want you and your teams to be with me so we can create energy, excitement, passion, and more importantly, so that lives will be changed and businesses will be changed. Think about this. This is positioned 3 weeks after GTC, the perfect positioning, because GTC, you're going to get all fired up, but hey, guess what? You got to now learn how to put some of that to use. That's what we're going to do on May 2nd. So that's my incentive. So here's what I want you to do. Take the link that's in this thing, send it out to your teams, and let them know, everyone, this is for everyone, of what the incentive is. Anyone that registers by the end of the day on the 31st of October will get my Mastering the Mindset for Success downloadable CDs free. $89 US is what I charge for that. I don't know about you, but that is the first time that I have ever done that for any summit anywhere in 8 years. Why am I doing that? Well, because I love you guys. And the more of you that are there that start speaking with those wonderful accents, the happier I will be and the greater the event will be. So that's why, because I want this to be a life-changing event. So that's your incentive. So send out the link, promote it to your teams. 1 week, let's see how far up that ladder of registrations we can go between now and Halloween night, and everyone will get a free copy of my CD series. There you go. So Danny, I'll turn it back to you, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Oh my gosh, I was absolutely shocked because I did not know that Jerry was going to say that. And anyone that was on the Fireside Call chat on Friday night, I told the story about these CDs. So basically, in a nutshell, I'd been in Arbonne for a couple of months. I didn't know what I was doing, like most people don't, in their first 3 to 4 months. And I found out from Donna Johnson that I'd earned this trip to Arizona, and Jerry Roisentul was going to be the keynote speaker there. So I had to pay to get myself to Arizona to see him speak. And I did not have any money. Like, I was on benefits. We were massively in debt. I had no money, but I knew that flying myself over to Arizona and seeing Jerry speak was going to transform my business. So I borrowed the money to get myself over there, and I sat in the audience. I was already in debt. I already owed money for these flights. I couldn't even afford to eat properly while I was there. But I sat in the audience listening to Jerry train, and he was selling these CDs at the end, and they were like a couple of $100, way more than what I could afford. And I just sat there and I thought, I need these CDs. So I rang my husband up and I was like, I really, really need something. Like, would you please lend me the money? And I promise you it'll be worth it. And I promise you it's going to help my business. I promise you I'm going to pay you back. And he lent me the money, and I went up to Jerry and Gina like shaking, and I bought the CD set. And it was that CD set that I listened to over and over and over again in my car, like how to do a one-to-one, what to say, objections, the 4 questions to ask somebody when they're getting started, like all the skill sets that I learned to build my business, like the foundations came from these CDs. And it was the content on those CDs that helped me go region. And I just, when you said that, I was like, no, because you can't even get those CDs here. They're just priceless. They are priceless content CDs.
And Danny, that's why I didn't tell you, because I wanted your actual real reaction. So that's why, and I didn't, guys, I did not tell Danny about that I was going to do this. And I was telling my wife about it, and she was like, okay. And I said, hey, I want to do whatever I can do to help fill that room, because I already know the impact this event's going to have on everybody. I already know that. I want you to know that. So the question was asked, and all right, all right. Okay. So let me think about this before I say anything. But anyway, go ahead, Danny. We're going to see if we have any questions.
Oh, what was that? Was there a question you were going to answer?
No, I was thinking about something. I was going to say something, but I'm going to toss it around before I say it. So
I will say this about the CDs. There is a part where Jerry talks to a woman in the audience. They do some role play, and this woman's called Gina. And I remember messaging Jerry, and I was like, that woman that you did a role play with, is that who you ended up marrying? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, and she's actually on those CDs. It's mad. It's brilliant. That call, Jerry, about this whole call has just been so inspiring. And everything you said is always right. Everything you say is right. It really is. And I don't know if you've managed to catch up with the chat yet, but everyone's gone crazy. you're just so relatable, and you make everything super easy. And this business, it is very straightforward and it is fun, and you just constantly remind us to not get caught up, not sweat the small stuff. It is simple and it is fun if you remember to keep it simple and keep it fun. Like if you keep focusing on the simplicity and the fun, everything in your business will be simple and fun, and you always bring us back down to earth. And I just love that about you, Jerry.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate that. And listen, that's why I love being here with all of you guys. You know, I enjoy this. It's fun. We have a good time. We laugh. We learn. Remember, my stomach is coming to the UK along with my summit. Let's not forget this. Okay, Monica, you've got a question. So if you want to unmute yourself, ask away. Let's hear it.
Hey.
What's up, Monica?
I'm good, thank you. I've already registered, so I'm hoping because I've already registered, I'm getting the downloads too.
Well, Monica, you got me thinking. So I'll let you know before the call's done.
So the question is, because I have only been part of the team for a few months, and a lot of the time it's more about, when it comes to sponsoring, people like to see the results of the person who is talking to them. It's like a very simple example. When I did the 30-day plan, a lot of my friends and family were like, well, we'll watch your results and we'll then jump on. And when I finished it, there was quite a few of them jump on because they saw my results. When it comes to sponsoring, obviously, I haven't got the results yet for be like, yeah, we're jumping on it, or to people I'm talking to about it. So what would be your advice for someone like me, or someone who's kind of starting within the team that hasn't got yet that, what's your results? Why would I want to jump onto that business opportunity? What would be your advice?
That, Monica, is a great question. Fabulous question. And there's a real easy answer. Okay. When I started out my network marketing business 27 years ago, I was living in a 300 square foot room, which, you know, is very small. Hashtag stomach summit. I love that. We have to make that a joke now. Okay. So I was living in a 300 square foot room. I was borrowing money from friends to put gas in my car to get around town. And what was my business? Financial services. So I was coming to your house in a car I borrowed money to put gas in to talk to you about how to manage your finances. So just think about that for a minute. Think about that as a mindset mess. So my example, forget it. But this is something my upline told me. That was the turning point for me overcoming that mental hurdle, because that's what it is. It's a mental hurdle. How do I get beyond this? He said, listen, until you create your success, borrow mine. Until you create your story, borrow mine. And when you've created your success and you have your story, just remember to give me mine back. And that changed everything. Because when somebody said, well, what have you done? You haven't done much of anything. And say, well, let me tell you what I've done. Number one, I've started. Number two, I've got a plan. Number three, I'm working that plan, and success does take time. But I would love to connect you with my partner who I'm working with, who has been in the business for this many years, who's a national vice president, whose average income based on company numbers is $22,000 a month. I would love to introduce you to them so they can tell you a little bit more with me. That's what I used to do. And you know what? If people didn't get it, then they can get out. See you later. Take care of yourself. Don't need to worry about that. But that's what I did, because I wanted to remind people. I didn't care if I didn't have a lot of success yet. Monica, the fact that you started sets you apart from 80% of the people who are just thinking about it and will never get it done. The fact that you have a plan sets you apart from 80% of the people that don't even have one. The fact that you're working towards making something happen sets you apart from everybody else. And the fact of the matter is, even though I don't have it yet, because businesses take time to build, which is what I always told people, businesses take time to build, but I'd love to connect you with my partner. I never called him my upline. I didn't like that. I always called him my business partner. I would like to connect you with my business partner. Now listen, he used to be a manager of a gym. He's been in the business for 10 years. He's averaging about $500,000 a year in income. He's teaching me how to do the same thing he's doing. Let me connect you together. We'll get on a 3-way call. I'd love you to meet him. That was it. And if that didn't work, next, and off to the next person. See? Exactly. You still mentioned Fiona, and you're national vice president, but you still mention her. And I'm telling you, 3-way calls, especially when you're new, especially when you don't have the success yet, those 3-way calls are how I built my business, because I had no credibility. So I could sit around and say, well, I'm not going to sponsor because I don't really have any credibility. Or I can say, I'm going to go sponsor and I'm going to borrow the credibility of my uplines to help me until I create my own credibility. And that's what I did. So Monica, did that help? That makes sense?
Brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And, you know, I've got Fiona, who's absolutely amazing anyway. So you absolutely answered my question. Yes.
Wonderful. Use them. And just remember this, it's up here. See, because they're trying to make you feel bad about what's going on. Well, what have you done? And where are you at? And then we kind of go, oh yeah, I don't have anything. I know. No. You stand strong and say, listen, you know what? Here's the deal. I have I have a plan. I'm working the plan. I'm on my way. Businesses take time. But let me tell you, my business partner was and then you share that, but you share it with confidence. And then they look at you and go, oh, okay then. Oh, okay. Because remember, don't ever be embarrassed. Don't ever be embarrassed. It's not about you. It's about you and your support team. I always sold my leadership team. When I was at your place in my business, Monica, I would talk about me and my leadership team. Who was my leadership team? All the people that were doing better than me in my organization. That was my leadership team.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, my dear. Thank you for asking, because you probably just helped a whole bunch of other people too. So
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Jerry, we've got 2 more questions on the chat. Have you got time for them or not?
I'll go ahead and answer the 2 just because I love you guys. So let me get up here a little bit.
Somebody iPhone, I'm not sure who it is, said it's not the no that's a problem for them. It's the being ignored. How do you overcome it? And then Emma.
Next.
Oh, do you want me to do the next?
Let me do the first one.
Okay.
Next. Listen, if somebody is ignoring me, that tells me enough about their character that I don't even want to know. That's a character issue. If you don't have the guts, the courage to at least text me and tell me to F off or just stop calling me, if you don't have the courtesy to do that and you're just going to simply ignore me, what does that tell me about that person's character? And do I really want that kind of person on my team? So how do you deal with it? Next, I don't ever allow people to ever do that to me, because that's ridiculous. Somebody's going to ignore you. It's like when I went to the mall one day and I was walking and I saw a friend of mine that I've known for 20 years. I was on one end, he was on the other. We were walking like towards the middle, and he saw me and skirted into a store so that he didn't have to talk to me. And I just wanted to simply go in there just to embarrass him, but I said, I don't have time for that. But he actually, this is somebody I grew up with. He flew into the store so I didn't have to see him. So the way I dealt with people who ignored me is I just said next. Because if that's the kind of character you have, then I don't know if that's the kind of person I want to have on my team. That's just me. I didn't have time to waste. So that's the answer to that one. Okay. Emma.
The other one was Emma Lee. Did you want to unmute Emma? If not, I can read it out.
Sometimes when I'm talking and sharing about the business, I feel I'm sharing something that's too good to be true, and that's how it comes across, so it's disregarded. Yes. Well, first of all, the business is not too good to be true because the business takes work like any other business. But what's too good to be true in most people's minds is that there's actually a company that will give people like them a chance to do something like this. That's where it becomes too good to be true. I can't believe there's a company that's going to give someone like me who didn't even, and I'm just saying in general, I did graduate high school, but if you didn't, that's okay. But there might be somebody that's saying, hey, listen, I can't believe a company like this is going to give a guy like me, a person who didn't graduate high school, an opportunity to come in and make a six-figure income. So that does sound too good to be true. It's not the business itself. It's their mind can't comprehend there's a company that will actually do this. There's a company that will actually allow them to make this happen. And so what I do is people say, well, it's too good to be true. And I would say, well, you're right in one respect. And they say, what? I said, what's too good to be true is it's hard to believe that there's a company like this that will give people like you and I a chance to do what we have a chance to do. That does sound too good to be true. But I'm telling you, I've got lots of friends in the business doing it. I can tell you right now, it is real. But just understand one thing. This is a business. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not a snap your fingers and you're a millionaire. It's going to take work and a lot of it. And if you're afraid of work, this isn't for you. I would be that blunt with people. Because listen, at the end of the day, why are we afraid to tell people this takes work? This takes work. You know what I used to tell people? This is what my upline told me. I used to tell this to people all the time. I said, Danny, let me tell you something. I said, do you want me to sugarcoat things or just be completely real with you? And guess what everybody said? No, just be real. I'd say, listen, Danny, I can promise, I can't guarantee you a lot of things. But there is one thing I can guarantee you. What? This is going to be the hardest work you have ever done in your lifetime. I can guarantee you that. But you know what the best part of it is? What? If you've got what it takes to do it, on the other side is every dream, every goal, and everything you want to accomplish in your life, you're going to be able to accomplish it right here if you're not afraid to work. And you know who I found? Workers. Not lazy people, people that weren't afraid. I don't know why we have a problem telling people, hey, this is going to be some of the toughest work you've ever done. Because it is. Network marketing is simple. It's not easy. It's a simple business. It's not complicated, but it's not easy because you're dealing with people. That's right. There you go, Daddy. You must have been reading my mind. You're dealing with people, and working with people is a challenge. So it is going to be the hardest work of your life. I can guarantee you, for Danny, it's been some of the hardest stuff she's ever done. But now that she's over beyond that, the view from where she is, you know what people used to tell me in my business? If I would have known just how great it was from here, up here, I would have failed twice as fast to get here I would have failed twice as soon to get her twice as fast. I would have got double the no's, double the dark houses just to get here. Because once you get there, you realize, oh my gosh, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have just done it even faster. But we have to stop being afraid to tell people this is hard work. Where do people think you're going to go and have a chance to make $100,000 and just sit around and twiddle your thumbs? I don't know where people get off like that. This is hard work. But if people are willing to work hard, then the dreams and the things on the other side will change their life. So, Hope that answered that question, Emma.
Do you know what? And on that note, just before we wrap up, you're so right in everything you just said there. And I don't know if anyone has ever noticed all the people in Arbonne that are succeeding. So I consider somebody that's succeeding in Arbonne that's sort of like on their way to district manager, or maybe is like a district manager already, or a bonus in district, area manager, you know, somebody that's really, really succeeding in this business. Have you ever noticed they're all grafters? They're all people that will roll up their sleeves. They'll be out there digging in the trenches. And they are grafters. They're the people that are at every DA, they're at every training, they're on every training live. Like, they are the people that show up. And these are the people that when you say to them, you know, before you did Arbonne, what were you like in your last job? And they'll be like, well, I was the best person that filed, and if I was going to clean anything, I was going to clean it till it was sparkling. And there's like a common theme. So whenever I sponsor anybody and they're not like that, they don't last very long, because they're not going to in any business, let alone Arbonne. If you're not willing to roll your sleeves up and work, you're probably not going to succeed in any self-employed role. Like full stop, and it's a period then, full stop. So Jerry, just you hit the nail on the head completely there. And this call has been just so special, and thank you for doing this, like taking time out of your time on a Wednesday morning. Is it Wednesday morning or is it Thursday morning for you?
Wednesday afternoon.
Okay. I don't know where
and I just want to tell you something, Danny, about sleeves. This is very important. When I come to the UK, I have a unique style that I dress with for my summits. Now, I'm very unconventional. You know, most times you'll see speakers in suits and jackets and ties. No, I come in dark blue jeans and a button-down shirt with sleeves that are rolled up. And somebody asked me at my summit a couple weeks ago, because it's become kind of my style around the country. People said to me, is there a significance in why you roll up your sleeves? Because I've never seen a speaker roll up their sleeves. And I said, there is. When I used to go to work with my dad in the summer times when I was a teenager, my dad always used to tell me, son, when you're ready to go to work, roll up your sleeves and get to work. And so every summit I do, I roll up my sleeves in honor of my dad, but to remind people that we're going to get to work. And that's what we do on our summits. That's why it's so much fun.
But you've not been to the UK, so you don't know how cold it is.
Well, I'll be indoors when I do the event, so it doesn't really matter.
So we'll make sure we've got the heating on now that we know that.
Absolutely.
You can tell the Brits are when we go to America, the conferences, and we've all got a blanket and our jumpers. We're like, it's so cold.
Well, you'll help me dress accordingly, because my wife doesn't do cold very well, so we'll have to pack accordingly. But I just want to let you guys know, listen, we're excited to come there. I know that we're going to get all the people. I know we're going to blow past the people, but I just don't want to procrastinate. I say, let's just get it done. So remember, 2 incentives, 2 consultants this month, fireside chat call with me next month. And if you register for the event between now and the end of the month, you're going to get my Mastering the Mindset CD downloadable for you. And yes, everyone that's already registered, I'll send it to you as well. So there you go. Okay. I'll send it to you as well. So everyone that's registered and everybody that does register between now and the end of the month, I will send it to you. Now I want you to understand something. That's $89 US times guess how many? Okay. So I want you to see where my heart is. That's a lot of stuff, but I want people in that room. So let's pack it out. Go ahead and share that link. Get it out there. 9 days. Let's do it. And Danny, I say this all the time. You, my friend, are a gem. You are an amazing person. I am honored to be your friend. I am honored to work with you and this incredible team. This truly is, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, you can ask my wife, this truly is my favorite call of the month. It really is, because you all have energy. You all love me. I love you. And we come here together and we just have a love fest and learn at the same time. So it's a beautiful thing. So thank you, my dear. I appreciate you.
We're so lucky, because everyone else in the UK is like, how does your team get Jerry on a call? And I'm like, oh, it's who you know, my friend. It's who you know. People I'm like, but you'll come and see him in the UK though, don't you? So we are really lucky, because we're the only team in the UK that gets these calls. So we are so privileged. Thank you, Jerry, so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for getting on live. There's nothing quite like being on a call and everybody being on live with your cameras on, as Caroline was talking about the other day. So thank you to every single one of you. And let's make sure that we're all on the fireside chat with Jerry next month. 2 ICs this month. Let's get on it. Thank you, Jerry.
All right. Bye, you guys. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.